So you're doing some 10 pulls on the current weapon banner or the standard banner, and either you lose the 50-50-50, 30-30-30-30 on the weapon banner, or you get this weapon on standard banner and you get SkyWard Harp. So in this video, we're going to look at SkyWard Harp, what it does and who it can be good for. Now you might notice I am without my pointer. I don't have it. I haven't found it from moving. I think it's still in one of our cars. I have moved. I am back. So this will be the first video in the new office. I can't wait for you guys to see it during streams because it's going to be really, really good. Now we are going to get into this video. So SkyWard Harp gets up your crit rate. Its passive increases crit damage by 20%. This is R1. Hits have a 60% chance to inflict a small AoE attack, dealing 125% physical damage. Can occur every 4 seconds. The second half of that passive we're not really worried about, right? We really, really like the crit rate, and we really, really like the crit damage. Now, something else about this weapon is that it has a very, very high base attack, which is going to be good for a couple of characters. I run it on my Sara. It is super, super good on my Sara because her buff comes from her base attack, which is Sara's base attack plus the base attack of the weapon that she has equipped. SkyWard Harp has the highest base attack, plus the crit rate, plus the crit damage. So this is a very, very good weapon for Sara. I believe it is her best or one of her bests for a support. I run C6 Sara. With my Raiden, it is very, very good. Now, we are going to look at 3 kinds of characters that can use this weapon. First off is going to be Sara, which is going to be a support character, kind of like Faruzan, specifically because their buff, the attack buff that they give, comes from their base attack, right? Goro doesn't. That's not how he works. So Goro's not included on this. It is going to be Sara and Faruzan, specifically Sara. Faruzan's doesn't matter quite as much. So for the example, we are going to be using my Raiden hypercarry team. I'm also going to show her doing some of her own damage. So we are going to take my Raiden hypercarry team into the VG domain, which is the domain I had my mod Zach run for me for the last week while I was moving. And Sara, running through the same kind of rotation that I run for my Raiden to do damage, she is going to hit 91k. This isn't a domain that does not do anything for electro damage. 91,068 plus all those other pulses out. Now at that point, she is getting her own attack buff. So we're going to go back through the rotation, giving the attack buff over to Raiden to see what Raiden hits. Raiden is going to hit nearly 300k, 298k on the final or the first slash from her burst. That is because she is getting a maximum buff from Sara. So this is really, really good for the character like Sara, whose attack buff comes from the base attack of their weapon, kind of like Benny. Sara's is specifically good for C6 Sara. It's specifically good for Raiden. Now, the next character that we're going to look at is going to be a character like Fischl, who's going to be doing a lot of off-field damage. I'm going to put Fischl in for Yaimiko in my Alhaitham aggravate hyper bloom. Dude, I haven't talked about these terms in so long. Quick bloom team. That's what I meant to say. So we're going to give it to Fischl and let her do some damage. Now I am having to run a crit rate circlet on Fischl, so the split is almost a 1-to-1. It's like 98 over 100 something. So Fischl's not going to be doing too much damage, but she's always going to be critting. Now, we're going to take this in. This is going to be a very, very good weapon for Fischl or another off-field damaging bow user. This is going to be really, really good because of that crit rate, because of that crit damage, and that high base attack. The higher base attack won't matter as much for Fischl as it did for Sara, because that's how Sara's entire buffing mechanism works, but it's still going to be really, really good. Fischl's still going to be able to do a fair amount of damage for not having that great of an artifact set on her. My Fischl is also C6, so she can actually work really, really well with a character like Alhaitham. I might even have Fischl instead of Yaimiko. I don't know which one I want to use. The final character that we're going to kind of use to show of a good way to use this weapon is going to be Tartaglia. Now, with this, Tartaglia wants as much crit rate as possible because he never crits. and we want that crit damage, so this is going to be a really, really good weapon for a character like Tartaglia, if you're not using it on somebody else that needs it more. So real quick, we're just going to go in and run this with Tartaglia. So this weapon is going to be really, really good for all different kinds of characters, right? We have Sara and Farazan in the support category. In the on-field, you have like Fischl or Yelan. For the on-field, you have like Tartaglia, Yoimiya, on-field Ganyu. You have a lot of different options for this weapon. So real quick, we're gonna go run through every single bow user and just a quick kind of yes or no, can they use it? Starting with the newest character, Sigewinne, who I don't have and I haven't even done her trial yet. I believe that she's going to scale off HP, so I'm going to say no, Sigewinne cannot use it. Sethos possibly can, but I think that he's going to like something like Stringless or that event weapon where you're going to be getting EM out of him instead because he wants that EM. So for Sethos, I'm going to say a maybe. Lenny, yes. Farazan, yes, but Favonius is going to be better than something like SkyWard Harp because you want her burst up, you want energy recharge. Tighnari, yes. Kale, yes. Yelan, yes, but you can use something like a Sacrificial or a Favonius. Goru, no. Sara, yes. Yoimiya, yes. Ganyu, yes. Tartaglia, yes. Diona, I would do something else. I'd do either energy recharge or HP. Venti, yes. Fischl, yes. Amber, yes. Now today's video is going to be a quick one because I still have a lot of packing or unpacking because we're not moving again. We're staying here. I have a lot of unpacking to do, so that is going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, you should leave it down in the comments. Myself or somebody else will sure to answer it. I promise I'll have my pointer for the next video, and I'll see you in that one.